Hello, people.
Hola, long time no see,
Uh,
bud.
yeah, it's been a minute, but we're back.
A minute. I think it's been longer than a minute.
You know what I mean. But yeah, it's been a little bit, but we're back now. So,
It's time to light this
what are
bitch
we
on
talking
fire.
about?
I don't know. What do we
Sure,
want?
fire's fun.
What do we? Hey, pyros are always a good thing. What do we always talk about?
Wrestling.
So, guess we're going to talk about wrestling. But before we get into wrestling, we're going to dive into some news. Then, after the news, we're going to talk about our wonderful adventure to Revolution 2024. And then we're going to talk about last week's Dynamite and then preview tonight's Dynamite. Sound like a plan?
Sure,
What are you doing on your phone?
looking at stuff.
Well, pay attention.
I am paying attention.
You need to look into the camera so people can see your beautiful face.
Nah, they're good.
So let's start off with some news. Would you like to hear the core of AEW's under 35?
Maxwell.
Well, yeah, but
Uh, trying to think who's all under 25.
35.
Takeshita.
I said 35.
Same thing.
I'll
Same
read
thing.
them all. Be quiet and let the pro talk. You have Will Osprey, Takeshita, Hangman, Swerve, Switchblade, Daniel Garcia, Roosh, Darby, Fletcher. Then you have a veteran lineup of Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, Brian Danielson, Moxley, Okada, Cage, Copeland, Strong, O'Reilly, the Young Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Pac.
Nice.
Sound like some good figures right there.
Hmm.
So, you know, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but the swanton off of the ladder that Darby did at Revolution in the glass spot, that he really fought for that and said that there was a plan B with a different finish if he was not able to return.
Yeah, I saw that.
So evidently Matt Hardy's contract with AEW is set to expire this month. Do you see them re-signing him maybe as a backstage person, producer, coach?
They shouldn't, but that's just how I feel.
Well, I mean, it is your opinion. You want to hear some statistics?
Sure.
So it was reported that Revolution in Greensboro drew 16,118 fans, which I can confer that was probably how many were there because there was a shit ton of people.
Uh-huh.
And for merchandise, the average amount spent was $21.64. And overall, it produced about $349,000 in gross sales. And they pretty much sold out of everything.
Yeah.
Not bad for a t shirt company, right?
No, not at all.
You good there, bro?
Ow. Yeah, I'm good. Mm. But no.
So we all know
Uh,
everybody's favorite Japanese wrestler signed with AEW. So it was leaked out that he signed a 3-year deal worth $4.5 million per year,
not bad.
to which a lot of people are saying he overpaid.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said when Mercedes debuts tonight that there should be a video package on here so people will know who she is.
I agree.
That's funny.
So would you rather have the card of a show given to you before the show or be surprised?
A little bit of both. Like, I like knowing like what the big matches will be, but if a random match just pops up out of nowhere on the show and it's good, what's the issue with it? That's how I look at it. Whew.
Are we sleepy?
A little bit.
Mm, I don't want to discuss that. So what are your thoughts
Anyways,
on the rumor that Shelton Benjamin could be coming to AEW?
um, I'm cool with it. I think he would be a solid coach. Interesting fact, Keith's dad was roommates with Shelton Benjamin in college.
Nice.
So, and apparently they're like good friends.
Cool.
So,
Now you got a connection. Maybe we need to get Shelton Benjamin on our podcast. Would you like to see him wrestle Osprey or Okada?
I'd like to see him wrestle Danielson. That's more intriguing to me.
Hmm. I don't really think I consider Shelton Benjamin a technical wrestler. But it's been a while since I've seen any of his matches, so
Shelton was always one of those guys that had talent, but was, of course, underutilized for reasons. And I think we know what those reasons are.
yes, yes, we do. Next piece of news. So it is official. WWE will hold SummerSlam 2024 live from Cleveland, Ohio at the Cleveland Browns Stadium. Welcome to Mistake by the Lake, known as Cleveland, Ohio.
And it's gonna be a shitty show in a shitty stadium in a shitty city in a shitty state. It's just gonna be full of shit.
So I guess we shouldn't go.
Unless you want to.
Eh, I've been to Cleveland several times before, didn't lose nothing there.
We could take a trip to Ohio and go to Cedar Point instead. That would be more fun than SummerSlam.
Mm.
Anywho, what's next on the agenda?
The next piece of news I want to discuss is the piece of news that come out where Will Ospreay was on Talk Is Jericho on why he chose AEW over WWE.
Because it's better.
Well, I'm gonna read you his quote and then tell me what you think, and don't be biased. He said, even in differences of what they were offering and what AEW was offering, AEW was way better. It was night and day. The scheduling, everything about AEW was completely the right option for me. It was always you can go be a superstar in WWE and famous, but it's not as good of pay and it's not as kind of a schedule. I respect everyone there doing it, but it's not for me, Osprey said. Main thing was I wanted to be in the UK. I know I'm not going to be exactly comfortable moving to another country. He says, Tony Khan has given me nothing but trust and respect the moment I came in here. It was the right decision for me at this time. I am happy. I am happy here and looking forward to the challenges. It was the right decision.
Well, he's not wrong. You do get better pay and you do have a lighter workload. So, what's the issue with what he said?
Well, I mean, it's WWE money, con money.
Yeah, that's true.
Big difference. And TKO is known, if you look at their UFC, for underpaying shit. That's why their fighters bitch about their pay.
That's why the PFL was created.
And so evidently, TK gave a response on Darby Allin's stunts and the allowance for dangerous spots in AEW. And he said, whenever a wrestler comes in and wants to try something especially dangerous, I just want to know that there is a safe way to do it. Darby Allin, every time he has ever had an idea for a wild high spot or a crazy move, he has had a rationale and a plan. Darby doesn't take these things lightly. Nobody would have attempted the amount of crazy, wild, death-defying stunts Darby has done in his tenure and made it this far unless they are methodical, and an organized planner. In Darby's case, he is fanatical about finding a way to pull off the impossible and do these stunts. He always finds a safe way to pull them off. He always has a rational way for why he's able to do it, and that is what impressed me.
Nice.
Your thoughts on that? I have one thought. Darby is a crazy motherfucker.
That is, and I agree with that only thought. He is fucking batshit wild.
And if he does not do a coffin drop off the top of Mount Everest, what is the point of him going climbing Mount Everest? Right?
I suppose.
So evidently, TK gave an update on AEW's relationship with Warner Brothers, and he said that their relationship has only gotten stronger under the current management, and that they have come to us and are very excited about what we are doing with AEW. I think we will have a very exciting opportunity to remain here. Kinda sounds
Yeah.
like he might be shopping around too. Mm,
Well, I suppose that's what you got from it.
that's all my news.
Nice.
to our next segment. Hello, yo.
I'm waiting for you to continue what you were going to say.
I just said our next segment, and I was waiting for you to say something, dipshit.
You were supposed to say something, dipshit.
You're not supposed to call your mother a dipshit.
You're not supposed to call your son a dipshit.
Yes, you are.
Nope. Anyways, what's next?
So if you paid attention in the opening, I told you what would be next. So, what was your thoughts on Revolution?
It was a fucking blast. And I got to see Kyle O'Reilly show up again at the Greensboro Coliseum. Again.
What is up with Kyle O'Reilly coming to AEW every time we go to the Greensboro Coliseum? I need to have a talk with him about that.
He just loves that place. Don't know why. It is a cool place.
So, what was your favorite match of Revolution?
Takeshita versus Osprey. It's easily match of the night.
Could be match of the year contender.
Yeah, that's true. It could be. Probably will be. I don't know. Osprey versus Danielson might fucking the internet.
It might. We'll see.
That might have to put it into fucking what's his face's um star ratings. That shit would be broken. That would be like 10 stars.
Anything else you want to talk about that happened at Revolution?
Oh, Sting's final match was cool. That was fun. It's cool to see his sons out there.
Yeah. That Darby spot, I was like, oh shit. I text your aunt because she's a big Darby fan. I was like, he fucking killed himself.
Not the first time. Won't be the last time.
No, won't be last time.
But no, I enjoyed Revolution. Thought it was a great show.
I think I would have had more fun if I'd have felt better because I had like a major migraine from hell that I was fighting through. And so all the pyros and the loud noise didn't help. But for what I paid for them tickets, I was not going to go. Like I literally would have to be
Mm-hmm.
dead for me not to go.
Which even then, you probably would be rolled up there in your coffin.
Yes, it would have been instead of Weekend at Bernie's, it would have been Catherine at a pay per view.
Yes.
You would have propped my body up in that seat.
Mm-hmm.
May or may not have
Instead
driven there
of Daryl
illegally.
and Warner,
Huh?
instead of Daryl and Warner saying I'm the one who's dead.
Yeah, instead of Darren Warner saying that you're the one dead and I'm propping your body up. Even though he physically met you at WrestleCade last year. And seeing that you were breathing and moving on your own.
I don't know.
I think my favorite spot was seeing Will Ospreay because I love me some Papa Will.
I got to see him for a second time.
Nobody asked you, dipshit. So I'm working on uploading our pictures from Revolution and our videos from Revolution to our website. So as soon as I get that done, check out our Twitter at the Mid Podcast for the link, and you can go see our pictures and check out our videos from Revolution. Might take a day or two because kind of slow uploading these photos. Anyway, I think that's all I want to say about Revolution.
It was a blast.
Oh, I enjoyed the Deanna Purrazzo match, but I'm a
Yeah,
big Deanna
that was
fan
good.
because I've like met her personally, so I kind of like her.
Deanna was nice. So is
And
Steve Macklin.
and we have like something in common since we're both history majors. So that's what makes her really cool.
Yeah.
There's rumors that Steve Michaels' contract's coming up sometime soon. Did you see him in
Steve
AEW?
Macklin was a cool guy. Probably since Deanna's there.
Yeah, maybe. All right, so moving on. Anything else you need to want to say about Revolution?
No, not really. Besides, I loved it. And
It was pretty awesome for our first pay per view.
bring a pay-per-view back here already.
Yeah,
Full gear. Making like Charlotte or Raleigh.
I prefer Raleigh because Raleigh's closer.
Well, I'm just saying. Could do it in Chapel Hill.
Oh no, I can't step foot in that nasty city.
I'm just saying their basketball stadium seats like a lot of people. I forgot how much it seats actually. UNC basketball arena.
I've seen Depeche Mode play there. I've seen Motley Crue play there.
Its capacity is 21,750. They could have a show in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Anywho, Dynamite from last week. You just gonna hit the important stuff.
Um, yeah. I mean, I got the whole thing pulled up, but we can just hit the important stuff. So last week, Dynamite kicks off with everybody's favorite person. Whose house?
Swerve's house.
Yes. Tony Schiavone's in the ring to interview one Swerve Strickland, who is super cool. And Swerve goes on and says, "What's Swerve's house without the keys?" And that he couldn't get the job done this past Sunday, talking about Revolution. You know who did? Samoa Joe. Here I stand, no gold around my waist. Part of me thinks it's karma for all the bad things I've done in AEW, and now I'm paying for it. Maybe I'm not supposed to be champion. Maybe I'm supposed to be a role player and be the guy that gets close enough but can't quite grasp it, and that's what I gotta settle for. So he goes on to say, I'm going to tell you all a little something. Something about Sunday felt different. Something about Revolution felt very different. It felt like people were truly rooting for me for the first time, and it felt like y'all wanted me to win and make history. That's true. We agree with that, Swerve. The fact remains nothing changed from this point. Samoa Joe, whether you're still holding the world championship or not, I'm coming for you. I would not mind seeing a one on one with Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe.
Should have been 1-on-1 anyways.
But yeah, because, I'm not a Hangman fan. Samoa Joe makes his way down to the ring and he says, for a man who I beat down the other day, you sure are talking funny. Making a lot of promises to these good people that you will never keep. In fact, I came out here to give us a reality check. Here we are in Swerve's house, but unfortunately, your house exists in my world. So instead of coming out here and disappointing these people, how about you're almost the champion? I thought I'd come out here and let them gaze upon an actual world champion. Joe turns his back to Swerve, and Swerve says, "Don't talk your back on me. You're talking real spicy. How about you put this title on the line tonight? Actually, I don't want to wait until tonight. How about right now?" Then we get the Undisputed Kingdom's music hits. They come out, they roll down to the ramp. Adam Cole says the only story coming out of Revolution worth talking about is the Undisputed Kingdom. Talks about how Roderick Strong is your new international champion. Mike Bennett and Matt Taven are still the greatest Ring of Honor tag team champions. No lie there. And then there's Swerve and Samoa Joe. Joe, you're only champion because we allowed it to happen. That's kind of true. And Swerve, in
Yeah,
6 months, no one will give a damn about you. You're not going to win the world championship, but I will tell you who will. Wardlow. So they go back
meh.
and forth, and Adam Cole says that they will make a match next week. And Tony Schiavone interrupts them and says, no, actually, Tony Khan said the match is happening right now. So we get Mike Bennett and Matt Taven versus Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. Kind of like, will Swerve and Joe coexist? Samoa Joe boots Taven in the head and flattens him with a senton for a near fall. And then Samoa Joe hits Taven in the head with a headbutt. Bennett grabbed a blind tag and comes in and begins to strike Joe after a swift kick from Taven. Then Strickland tags himself in. He begins to clean house on Taven and Bennett. And of course, Swerve and Joe win. Wardlow walks down the ramp. Swerve is distracted. And while Swerve is distracted by Wardlow, Samoa Joe clocks Swerve in the sleeper and puts him out.
Pretty entertaining opening, I would say.
That was some bullshit, Matt Taven getting his ass kicked. I'm
Good.
protesting.
Oh, he deserved to get his ass.
Then we go to backstage with Renee Paquette, and she is interviewing Hook. And Jericho interrupts and begins to say the first match he worked as Lionheart Chris Jericho in this country was against Hook's father Taz, and he suplexed him on his head, and he's never forgotten that. He's always felt like he had a connection to Taz because of it. And he says that he never really respected you until Hook dumped him on his head this past Sunday at Revolution. And now they're going to set up a Jericho and Hook combination, I'm believing. Do we really need them as a tag? Next, we get an announcement from our AEW EVPs, everybody's EVPs, the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. They announced they have two huge announcements and that they're going to make those announcements in the ring as they were doing the greatest impression
PK.
of Tony Khan. Then we get the FTW championship match against Hook and Brian Cage, who I think is underutilized. For a big man, Cage can
He could
go.
be. He should be in the TNT title picture. I will say that.
I could see him with the TNT title, and I wouldn't be mad about that. I've always liked Brian Cage for some reason. So Cage cracks Hook with a thrust kick. Cage follows up with a suplex, then a running elbow to Hook in the corner. Cage sends Hook flying with a belly to belly. Then Cage pulled a chair from beneath the ring, wedged it into the corner, but Hook blasted Cage in the face with a fire extinguisher. Then Hook clocked Cage in the head with a trash can lid. Would a trash can lid really hurt that much if you got hit in the head with it?
Probably.
Can I try it on you?
Oh no.
Please?
I don't want CTE.
Then Hook jumped off the ring steps, but Cage caught him and power slammed him on the arena floor. That looked really bad. Made my back hurt. Cage charged at Hook. The Hook dodged him. Cage went crashing through the barricade. Then Hook tried the Red Rum, but Cage escaped. Cage smacked Hook with an F5 onto a chair. Hook clubbed Cage. Then Hook applied the Red Rum, but Cage backed into the thumbtacks. But Hook still wouldn't let go despite being in the thumbtacks, and he put Brian Cage to sleep. So Hook won via ref stoppage. Then Hook was ambushed by the Gates of Agony. I'm not upset anytime I see Bishop Khan and Toa Leona on my TV. And they stomped Hook, and out comes Jericho with Floyd to aid Hook and clear the ring. Yes,
This
we're
is my
going to get a Hook
reaction.
Jericho versus Gates of Agony. I see.
This is my reaction to that.
To a future match
Just
between the
sleeping.
four.
Mm-hmm. And it's not because of Hook or Gates of Agony. I just I can't get into anything Jericho's doing lately, if that makes sense.
Yes. So then we get an announcement that because Sting's retirement, the AEW World Tag Team Champions have been vacated, and we will have a tournament to decide new champions. Then we go backstage to Renee Paquette, who is interviewing, oh God, Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, and Chuck Taylor, where Renee asks what's next for Orange. Orange says, well, it's going to be the same thing I always do, and that's to do whatever I can to fill up my backpack with another championship. Renee says, let's talk about the new vacated AEW World Championships. Trent and Chuck, are you guys going to enter the tournament? Chuck replies, Renee, it's high time that the best friends win the big one, but unfortunately he hasn't been cleared. And he thinks that Orange Cassidy and Trent should enter the tournament. And in fact, they have a match on Rampage. Trent says, boys, it's time to win the big one. Nobody wants to see
That's what
Orange
she said.
Cassidy and Trent Beretta win that.
I don't mind seeing OC win it. I just rather have him win it with Chuck than I would Trent Beretta.
If they win, the only good thing that come out of that is Trent Beretta needs to turn on him. Next, we have Kill Switch versus Daddy Magic. And we get Christian Cage on the broadcast booth. Menard goes after Kill Switch, not wasting any time, throwing some forearms. Kill Switch with a choke slam. Then he hits the lariat on Menard. Christian Cage says Kill Switch just made his father very, very proud. Kill Switch continued his onslaught after the match as Daniel Garcia ran to the ring to even up the odds. Garcia pummeled Kill Switch in the corner. Nick Wayne jumped into the ring, but Garcia backed him off with some strikes. And Christian Cage replied that there's nothing Nick Wayne can't do under his guidance. Then Christian Cage and the Patriarchy celebrated on the ramp until the Rated R Superstar ran up from behind and attacked Kill Switch with a steel chair. He choked out Nick Wayne and then set his sights on Christian Cage, who began to back away. Mother Wayne went to strike Copeland with a low blow, but he blocked it. Then Copeland charged after Christian Cage as Cage retreated. Then Copeland chased Cage through the arena and then backstage. And then Christian Cage hijacked a car and drove away. To which Copeland looked into the camera and says, I know you're going to see this, and this has to end where it started in Toronto on March 20th, Dynamite. Copeland Cage 3 for the TNT Championship in an I Quit match. I am down for that.
Two things. A, Christian Cage needs to be arrested. That's not being a good role model as Father of the Year.
You mean Dilf?
Stealing a cart, no bueno.
He is Dilf of the Year.
Second of all, an I Quit match between Cope and Cage is gonna be so fucking good. and it's in Toronto, it's gonna be even better.
That match is gonna have to go at least 30 minutes.
Oh, that's going to be the main event.
It's gotta have some time, and you know there's gonna be some blood, there's gonna be some violence,
Mhm.
and I am so down for that.
Mhm.
Next, Renee is backstage to interview Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly says he hated to admit this, but there for a while he didn't think he'd ever wrestle again. But to be here, to be clear, to feel the love from the fans, to get a second chance at the only thing I've ever been good at, and to get a second chance to provide for my family, and that he's grateful. But I've got nothing but love and respect for the Undisputed Kingdom. But you've got to understand that I feel like I'm falling so far down the mountain and I don't know which path to take. Now that I've got a second chance, I just have to do it on my own. Thoughts on Kyle O'Reilly?
He's back, and that's all that matters.
Okay. Anybody you'd like to see him feud with?
Mm, not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Moving on. Tony Schiavone is in the ring to interview everybody's EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. The Young Bucks come down to the ring. They kick Schiavone out. Nicholas says the Bucks were entering themselves into the tag team tournament and they're going to get their titles back. So if they win, that would make them what? 3-time champions?
Yes.
Matthew says they have two huge announcements. The first item pertains to two of their dear friends. Matthew says Hangman Adam Page crossed the line at Revolution by putting his hands on two AEW officials, so he has been suspended from the Elite without pay. Matthew also said Kenny was fired from the Elite. And as Matthew was about to make another announcement, the Continental Crown champion Eddie Kingston walked down to the ring. Oh, God. Kingston said that he was warned that if he talked crap about the Bucks, he'd be fine. So he threw money at them and said, go ahead and fine him. Matthew told Eddie not to air their grievances on national TV and put his arm around Kingston. Nicholas moved closer and grabbed Kingston, but Kingston knocked Nicholas down and then struck Matt. As Kingston and Nicholas were tussling, Matthew connected with a low blow to Kingston, and then Nicholas followed up with a thrust kick. The Bucks were about to smash Eddie Kingston with the EVP trigger when suddenly we heard it. The coin drop.
Rainmaker!
The Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada's music begins to play. He comes down to the ring as the arena screams. Okada got in the ring and it appeared that he was going to help Kingston, but instead he grabbed Kingston and rocked him with a Rainmaker clothesline, which Kingston kind of fucked up if you watch it. Nicholas said, oh, one announcement we forgot to make. The newest member of the Elite, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Omega's out. Okada is in. I can't believe it, said Tony Schiavone. Okada targets the Continental Crown, gesturing at his waist and pointing to Kingston. So Okada is all elite and is the newest member of the Elites. What a shocking turn of events, Excalibur said. Give me Eddie Kingston losing to Okada.
You know what's funny?
Hmm?
The Bucks fired Omega just to hire his biggest rival in all of pro wrestling.
Yes, which is basically when Kenny comes back, going to set up Kenny as the babyface, and Okada is going to be the bad guy because I am digging heel Okada. And they're going to probably have Okada, Omega, what, 3, 4, I don't remember.
A lot.
Maybe at Forbidden Door if Kenny comes back in time. If not, I can wait till Full Gear in November as long as Kenny's healthy.
Yeah. Or they could do Heyman, Kenny, and Ibushi once Ibushi's healthy versus those three.
Yeah. Next, we have Statlander with Stokely Hathaway versus Riho. Riho dropkick Statlander, followed up with a drop Toho. Statlander pressed Riho and then planted her hard on the mat. Then Riho connects with a dropkick. Riho wins because Statlander refuses to cheat as Stokely Hathaway tried to give her a chain. Um, did you really? I mean, I think Riho's gotten her contract that she has like I can't lose clause or something because technically she probably should have lost to Chris Statlander just based on size and strength.
Yeah, but now I'm starting to wonder if this is leading the stat turn to stat turn heel.
I don't know if I would like Statlander as a heel, but I'm not a fan of Statlander, so
No, but she can wrestle.
she could wrestle. I'll give her that before she had those knee surgeries. Although she has gotten a little better, she's trusting her knees a little more.
Well, yeah, also, how long was she out? But these past couple matches she's had, they've been really fucking good.
Mm, that's true. Next, we see Renee backstage with the AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless Tony Storm, Mariah May, and Luther. To which Tony Storm said this Saturday on Collision, she will be presenting the first ever Tony Award with an eye so they don't get sued. She
Yeah,
just needs to keep doing what she's
that's
doing. I love her.
yeah.
I apologize for my newly dog barking.
Carly.
Yes, that's Carly, our new addition to the family that I inherited from my mother in law who passed away. Then Renee catches up with Stokely Hathaway and Willow Nightingale. Renee asks Stokely what went wrong. Stokely says Chris wanted to do things her way. She's my favorite. I just wish she would listen to those who love her most. Renee says, I have good news. She was just informed that next week on Dynamite, Big Business, that Willow will go against Riho. Willow replies, Stokely, I know what you were trying to do out there, but next week we have to do things my way. I know I can beat Riho, the former women's champion, and Julia Hart. I've got my sights set on you and the TBS championship. I'm down for a Willow Julia Hart match. I'm also down for Willow winning.
Yeah.
Then Tony Schiavone is in the ring to interview Darby Allin ahead of his match against Switchblade Jay White at Big Business. Tony asks Darby what it would be like without Sting. Darby replies, I'm lacerated, I'm beat up, I'm tired. But next week at Big Business, I've got a match against Jay White. Then on March 27th, I'm flying to climb Mount Everest. There is no guarantee that I'm going to come back alive from Mount Everest. I just want to take this moment to thank every fan in AEW for giving me this dream. And if next week is my last match, I'm going to go out fighting for my life. And as for this AEW World Tag Team Championship, everybody has asked me why I don't just find a new partner and keep defending it. Let's get serious here, Tony. I can't replace Sting. So, next team that wins this, congratulations. Darby relinquishes the AEW Tag Team Championship. Then the Bullet Club come out to the ramp. Jay White goes down to the ring. He says, Whoa, I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt this little sob story. But Darby, you're such an elusive guy. I don't know if I'd get the chance to talk to you face to face. Congrats on an amazing night at Revolution. You were willing to risk it all when you jumped off the top of that ladder. Our EVPs moved out of the way and you went crashing through the glass all by yourself. Between you and me in Atlanta, I don't really care that this is all people are talking about. There's no one to watch after you now, but you don't have to get in the ring with me. Trust me, nobody would think any less of you after what you've been through. Because, Darby, remember, if you do decide to get in the ring with me, there's a lot worse things that can happen than a few scratches.
Yeah, that's true.
Jay White goes on to say, so he has a better idea. Instead of a match, why don't you come back and you can hang with the Bang Bang Scissor Gang? And we even have a new nickname for you, Darby Scissorhands. This sounds like some WWE shit right there. Darby asked him if he was done and that he was going to get to the point. You came to AEW and did what? I don't believe the hype. If you think you're as good as you say you are, you'd come out here alone. I will see you at Big Business on Dynamite next week.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get a House of Black segment with some strong words at Mark Briscoe saying that they will fight fire with fire. Brody King says, just let us know if we need to dig one grave or three after Collision on Saturday. Then Renee is seen with Mark Briscoe, to which Briscoe says, Saturday night, let's do this Atlanta street fight. Anything goes. Jay Lethal interrupts and says that he's had Mark's back and that he'll bring Jeff Jarrett with him. Then we move on to our main event featuring our Ring of Honor World TV Champion Kyle Fletcher versus the aerial assassin Will Ospreay.
Can't go wrong with that.
Ospreay, Ospreay, Ospreay. Oh, never mind. And we get Don Callis on commentary for this match. The bell rang. Fletcher and Ospreay hugged. Fletcher hits Ospreay with a shoulder tackle. Ospreay took down Fletcher with a step up Hurricane Rana. Will chopped Fletcher in the chest, which really hurt. Fletcher reversed an Irish whip and sent Ospreay into the turnbuckles. Will, with an injured back from Revolution, crumbled to the mat, withering in pain. Will came back and hit a tope on Fletcher, then Will suplexed Fletcher for a near fall. Fletcher tried to block the Oz Cutter with a Styles Clash, but Will countered with a DDT. Fletcher ducked from the hitting blade and countered with Snake Eyes into the middle of the turnbuckle. Ospreay staggered as Fletcher with a heel kick, and then blasted Fletcher with an Oz Cutter on the apron. Ospreay countered with a tombstone power driver, then a poison rata to Fletcher. Finally, Ospreay finishes him off with the hidden blade as Fletcher begged him to end it. After the match, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson came down to the ring. Danielson smiled at Fletcher, and then Danielson and Ospreay had a stare down. And that was Dynamite. That match could be contender for match of the year if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah,
Just
that it
saying.
could be.
That was last week's Dynamite. It was pretty stacked. What has your attention?
Looking at, but might help it bring up the Dynamite card for tonight.
You don't say.
No, I was looking at tickets for something.
Oh, you want to go to WWE Raw?
No, I wasn't looking at tickets for that.
I know I was being facetious.
Da, 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 da. Where would did T post it? Well, I know we're getting the Elite versus Penta pack and Ed.
I got the card. You want me to do it?
Yes, because I can't find the card on Twitter.
So we're getting an AEW World Championship match between our champion Samoa Joe and Wardlow. Big meaty men slapping meat. Can't go wrong with that.
Wardlow's losing.
Of course he is. Then we get the Elite versus Eddie Kingston, Penta, and Pac.
That should be a good match.
There's gonna be some good high and flying spots in that match. Darby Allin versus Jay White. That's gonna be a good match.
Oh,
Willow Nightingale versus Riho.
that'll be a good match.
You know Riho's winning.
Maybe.
Gates of Agony versus Hook and Lionheart Chris Jericho.
Piss break.
Yeah, that might be time to get dessert break.
Yeah.
Dude, I was getting ready to ask you, why the fuck does my phone say 12:31? Then I realized when I screenshotted this, that was the time on my phone.
Uh,
That's how tired I am. So, yeah, looks like it's gonna be a good show tonight.
and
I get Bishop Khan on my TV. Yeah, baby.
and the debut of Mercedes Monet.
So when do you think they
Now
should
the
debut?
question is, you open or close with her, or do you do both?
Ooh. I would tease her at the opening and have her actually come out at the end. Like maybe like show her like from the waist down getting out of a car at the arena
Yeah.
and then have her come out at the end maybe.
Or like show her getting to the arena and be like, yeah, she's actually here. And tonight she will address the crowd and whatnot. And then just have her go around seeing people and whatnot. And then at the end of the show, she comes out and addresses. She should either be the opening or be closing. She shouldn't be put in the middle. You open with her, maybe you get people to stay. You close with her, then that could lead into next week.
I agree. So far, Big Business has sold 9,300 tickets, which beats Blood and Guts in 23 or 2023 at TD Garden.
Nice. But I thought AEW couldn't sell tickets.
Oh, and also, according to PW Insider, Bailey and Naomi are in Boston.
I bet some companies not gonna be happy about that.
Book it, Bailey and
TK would be like,
Naomi
hey,
going to AEW.
I bet TK is like, hey Bailey, when your contract's up. When is that exactly?
I don't know.
No, TK is probably like, really nice to meet you. Really nice to meet you. Goodbye. I can't talk about contracts with you. I don't want to be considered tampering.
Mm-hmm. But you know Twitter's blowing up. Oh, with Bailey and Naomi being there.
Yeah.
Well, you know
But
after Dynamite goes off, there's gonna be three kinds of fans on Twitter. The kind that's gonna be excited to have Mercedes Moné in AEW. The second kind that won't care but wish her well and continue with their lives. And the third kind that will be triggered and insufferable and will be the best ones to hit the block button on.
oh, they're already insufferable and the show hasn't even happened yet. But anywho, I don't have nothing else to add. So unless you have something else to add, I think this is the end of the episode.
Oh, um, evidently WWE is looking to potentially move domestic pay-per-views to start at 7 p.m.
Okay. But anywho, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, whenever next time is. No, we need to get back on a regular schedule. But unfortunately, life happens.
Yeah, it does. So, but
So we apologize.
anywho,
Somebody said Tony Khan should troll
goodbye.
everybody by having an actual Mercedes pull up at Dynamite tonight and the door opens and it's Eva Marie.
God. Okay, we're ending it on there. Goodbye.
Bye, people.